All right, Friday, Bitcoin today. I hope you guys doing well. Before we check the overall market and the Bitcoin, a couple of words about what happened yesterday and last night. The banking crisis in the US is back. Two banks are in serious trouble. And one bank, it's called PacWest, it's a regional bank. It's good possible that this bank will not survive the weekend. That would be the fifth bank in more or less 2 months in serious trouble. So for this reason, first of all, we check the overall market. And here we have a look to the S&P 500. And due to all these problems, it's mainly red, except Google and Amazon and Tesla. So the crisis is back, and I often said it, the banking crisis is not sorted out, and it also will have an effect on the Bitcoin, which we will see later on. Quickly, we check the rate hike expectations, pretty much like yesterday, 85% belief. We saw a peak. Future expectations is the same thing like yesterday, starting in July. Most likely the Fed has to reduce interest rates, but when I look at the problems of the regional banks, this could start earlier, which would be bullish for the market, by the way. Quick check to the gold, over 2,000. Still, we were 2,030 something, so we came a little bit down, as you can see here. This is on a yearly base, but still very strong. And here we come to the Bitcoin. Well, 26,375, Bitcoin under fire. That's what it is. Interesting is, this is on a 4-hourly base, that we are on 27% in the RSI. We are totally oversold. I spoke about it yesterday and the day before. I saw this tendency already on the horizon, and there should come a technical reaction. If it comes on the weekend or after the weekend, we will see. But later we will check all the details. Market capitalization, 12, Bitcoin on 12, obviously less due to the price, 510 billion. And now we come to the block time, 789384. And what is important about this here, we had in the last couple of days, starting on Monday, problems with the unconfirmed blocks. And we are now down in the normal region, as you can see here, around about 300,000 transactions. Because we had early the week the problems with these meme coins on the blockchain, BRC20 standard, but it's back to normality. This was one of the reasons why Binance had the problems, had to stop withdrawals and stuff like this, but this is more or less back to normality. That's good. Bitcoin halving clock, 331 days we have to wait for the next halving, which will take place approximately in April 7. Very important when you look to history for the Bitcoin. Okie doke. So the end of a week and not good for the Bitcoin. We started on Monday around about 30,000. We are now down 26 something, probably 15% less. It has a lot to do with the overall situation. It had to do with the problems with the withdrawal of Binance, with the meme coins. There were a number of problems this week, and it will be interesting to see what on the weekend is going to happen. So let's check the technical indicators. First of all, fear and greed. For the first time for quite a while, we are on 49%. So we are a little bit more on the fear side than on the greed side due to the situation. The same when you look at the heat map, it's all red. Not only BTC, all the other coins as well. Dominance went down. We were over 48%. We are now 47 something. And very important is the liquidations. And the price, the downtrend of the price is also driven by all these long liquidations. So this comes from the future market. Interesting is the spot market, and this is very promising, over 47 million. And still increasing. That's a good sign, because this is the underlying market. This is more or less what the future more or less will be. Okie doke. Google trends, no change. More or less no trend. And volume still very, very low. That's very dangerous in the moment, because low volume and a decline in prices, that's not a good combination. Very important, we check now the technical trend following indicators like every day. And what happened now last night with the Bollinger Bands. that this red candle here crossed to the downside this red line. This is not a good sign, really not. It can be a sign for technical reaction to the upside, but it's in the moment not really nice. We see the same thing on the MACD. You have a long trend. We were twice rejected. So also when you look at the RSI, and this is important, RSI is now on 35%. I said it before because this is on a daily base. Before it was on 4-hourly base. This is daily base. So we are really oversold. Usually a sign that a technical reaction to the upside should come. Maybe an interesting time for accumulation. Anyway, the short-term indicator says there's a downside potential to around about 25,000 US dollars, so be careful. Our cycle model says, well, it matches perfectly more or less with a real price. It's $300 underrated. Target has not changed. The second model shows an indication that it moves the blue line more to the base scenario number 1, because there are 2 scenarios. The target is more or less the same. Interesting is now Fibonacci retracements. And here we are in a critical area because we are in the 50% Nova zone with a downtrend. If we would go into this red zone under 50%, we could see more downtrend on the Bitcoin. Bear in mind, this is a bit dangerous. Bitcoin moving average 50 to 200 days, and while we are still in the green zone, but it's getting flat, the distance is getting less. So weekend, last video for this week. Be careful. Usually on a weekend not that much happens to the Bitcoin, but under the situation we have now, with a serious drop in price, everything can happen. I wish you all the best for the weekend. Would be great to see you again on Monday. Thanks and bye-bye.